Good morning. It is Friday, November the 21st of 2025, and I don't know where this month has gone. And I don't know about you, but it just seems like the days are flying by, and we're just getting a day older every day, but that's okay. We've got each other to comfort and encourage us, so let's just continue to do that. You know, I've already had a couple of texts this morning for some prayer requests, and I'm going to get into that in a minute, but I think that we all need to see this today. I pray to trust in the Lord with all my heart. To trust in the Lord with all my heart. How big is your heart? Are you trusting in Him with all your heart? You know, I was thinking about whenever I read the Upper Room this morning, it's talking, you know, for us to be patient sometimes, and you know, and I know I'm patient in some ways, but like if I want to do something, if I want some ice cream, I want it now. Even if I have to drive to Dairy Queen to get a Blizzard, I'm not very patient sometimes when there's just things like that I want to do. Now, I've told you, I've had to learn patience down through the years. I have not had a choice. But today, I think about how patient am I? And you know, the other day, this is Friday, it was Wednesday, I think I was talking about whenever I was thinking about putting a post on Facebook and then it messed up, I took it down. And then I was just saying, Lord, what do you want me to do about this? And then my friend makes a post on Facebook. If you've not watched that, you can go back and watch it. I'm not going to repeat it. But this is exactly how we are. Some of us are so impatient. If we're down in the dumps or we're depressed, we'll think, Lord, why have you deserted me? Why are you not helping me get over all these troubles in my life? Well, you know, you've got to put in some work too. You can't just pray to Him. You can't just get mad at Him because He's not answering your prayer right now. What are you doing to help yourself? We've all got to help ourselves, or we would be down, depressed all the time. So today, if you're feeling down about something or you're worried about something, pray for some peace, for some comfort, for some understanding, and make a step out to do better today, to help yourself. It's just like, and I had this on my little board back here. I want to put it on here again. This is so important. Make a change, or tomorrow will look just like today. We've got to make a little change. So this says, just the prayer on this Upper Room said, God, may we approach you in prayer with confidence. And if we got confidence, we're believing, understanding what you hear us, that you hear us and know our hearts. Give us the patience to wait faithfully for your response. So I was waiting the other day about that post on Facebook. I waited Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. He sent the answer through my friend Anita. So we need to learn patience. We need to learn that we can go to Him in prayer with all of our needs, but we have to step out and make an effort to help ourselves. So let's all do that today. I've already done my scripture writing this morning. I said Psalms 34:8, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in Him. That's a great verse. And then I've also done my book writing. I wrote the book of Psalms. In case you haven't, surely you know what I'm talking about because I've beat this to death, is that just since October, the last of October, I have started writing one scripture a day. If you want to go to the Mighty Dollar or the dollar store or Walmart or any place, if it would, you know, sometimes us girls like to decorate things and make them look a little prettier. This is not very pretty, and it's just because I haven't had time just to sit. You know, when I started out this first day, I drew me some little flowers on there, and I thought they were pretty, but I haven't taken the time to do that again. But if you want to decorate yours, if that would make you cheer you up to do that, and this is something you could leave for your child or your grandchildren, that one day when they're looking through your stuff and they'll say, well, my mom or my grandma took the time every day to write a verse, and you might highlight. I've highlighted a word or two now and then, just to take a little attention to it. But the main thing is it's going to bless you. Now, if you start doing this today, you might think, oh, I don't know about that. But write that verse out. I put the day's date, the chapter and the verse, the book, the chapter and the verse, and write the verse out. And after you write it, go back and read it. Now, these are just some verses that have just kind of stood out to me. I'm just picking them just here and there throughout the Bible. You can do it however that you want to. I am enjoying this so much. And if you will look on YouTube, there's all kinds of videos that you can get special books. You can buy stickers, you can do pens and highlighters and all kinds of things to decorate this up. But I already had this little book because I had, let's see, this was in 2021 that I went through and I was reading some books of the Bible, but I was making just like a little note about each chapter. But now I have started with the book of Psalms. Now I started this just a few days ago. Let me see I'm telling you, the time flies. I started on November the 4th. And every day, and if you can't do it every day, that's okay. But if you can, you know, I'm retired, I've got the time, I just have to find a quiet time that I can do this. This morning I wrote Psalms 15th chapter, and as I told you, I can now read this line in the Bible and write it down without looking back, which I'm telling you, my memory had gotten to where I couldn't do that. So this morning I wrote this chapter. After I write it, I go back and read it all together. But you know, I'm reading it as I'm writing it, but it's still not soaking in just right. But then when you read it all together, it's like a little story. So it makes more sense for you to do that. I highly encourage you to do this. I know that it will make you stronger. It'll give you hope. It will encourage you, and it will uplift you. And it will get us in the Word, which is where we need to be. So I would just encourage that. Do you know, I keep watching these little craft videos every once in a while, and there's still some things that I want to make. I just want to make them, show them to you, but I just can't work it all in. It's just hard to work it all in. But yesterday, if you're listening to Pollyanna, you know that yesterday was the end of Pollyanna. What a wonderful book. What a wonderful book. And I don't care how old you are. I should have read this book whenever I was in elementary school, but I didn't. I never read Pollyanna. I never read Anne of Green Gables or The Secret Garden. That's the 3 books that we've read on this channel. And I would do that on like Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And if you've not read those, and you've got some time that you're just kind of laying around and you don't want to read, but you might want to just listen to something, I have got the Anne of Green Gables and The Secret Garden on a playlist. And you can look on my channel, you'll see the playlist, and I will fix the Pollyanna where it will be there, where you can just listen to the entire book and stop it whenever you want to. If you've not listened to Pollyanna, I think you would be blessed and you will be uplifted. All 3 of those books are very uplifting and such sweet, good messages in them. But again, I'm going to say this about Pollyanna. You know, during her life, she played the glad game. And some of us on this channel are playing the glad game because anything that's negative, you can turn it into a positive. Like if you can't walk today, you could say, I am so glad that I can use my hands. Even, if I can't walk today, I can sit here at the table or sit in my recliner or whatever, and I could write something out. I could do some scripture writing. I could write a letter to a friend. I could just write down my thoughts. There's just so many things. I could start doodling. Look on YouTube and find you some doodling, simple doodling to do. It's so much fun. Here's some doodling. And then I've got some others, that I've showed you in the past. Sometimes I send them to friends. So if you send me a card or something, you'll probably get a doodle back. But some of us have decided this week, after listening to Pollyanna and how she inspired so many people and touched so many lives, that we're going to do the glad game instead of, everything's sad, because it's so easy to be sad. And it takes a little effort to be more positive. So yesterday, I was sitting at my desk late yesterday afternoon, and I was thinking, I need to make a bird. So I made these two little birds, and you know how I am with the index cards. I love doing the index cards. I taped me just a little paper on this index card, and I was thinking about Thanksgiving and all the poor little turkeys that are dreading Thanksgiving, or they've probably already met their doom. But this little bird was saying, "Ma, what are you glad about today?" And the mom says, "I'm glad I'm not a turkey." So, of course, I had to take a picture of this and send it to one of my friends, who says, "What is it with you and the birds?" And I said, "Birds of a feather flock together." What do you think about this? I thought it was so cute, and I was going to send it to my friend Laura that I write a letter to every week. And I thought, I can't do that yet because I've got to show it to you all first. So do you think Laura would enjoy this if she had that propped up? These are so easy to make and so much fun. These are just circles folded over, not even halfway. Glue the little beak on there. Draw this with just like a little Sharpie in the feet. And there's some grain. The baby bird is eating grain, and the mom is looking around, being thankful she's not a turkey. I couldn't wait to show you that because I thought some of you might want to do that. Wouldn't this be cute to even make some little Christmas cards with it? So don't be surprised if in my future, if I get time, you may see a Christmas bird hanging around. I love that. I think that's so much fun to do. Hey, we got some prayer requests that I want to mention. First of all, my friend Bonnie, that her husband died. It's not even been a year, and I've requested prayer for her a while back, but she is at the oncologist this morning, today, Friday, November the 21st. Please, let's give her just a special prayer this morning that things will work out. Also, my friend Kevin, let's keep remembering him. I've already requested prayer. And when we say these prayers, we mean families, the families of these people too. Because believe me, I've been there. And it's hard on the one that has to be in the hospital, but it's hard on the families too, to have to go through all this. Also, our friend Pamela is seeing a cardiologist, and that was yesterday. And she was going to maybe find out what he wants her to do. So I know she's worried about that. Let's remember her. And that's also been mentioned. And then I want to mention a sweet girl I had in school. She was in one of my first classes. Her name's Paula. And she was in one of the first classes that I taught. And I just had a special connection with her. Down through the years of my teaching, there's certain kids that really stand out that can make something out of themselves, that they've got it. They've got it together. And Paula was one of those. She's precious. I've always loved her dearly. And I don't see her very much. She lives in the same county I do. But she's just one of a kind. And I just am thankful that I have gotten to know her and got to be a little bit in her life. And I think she feels the same about me. And I want to just request prayer for her this morning. She's having just a little problem, and hope that everything works out good and she can get back to her normal sweet self. So still a lot of prayer requests. I keep thinking I need to bring my little prayer book down here just to show you, and I can't. I've got so much stuff I bring down here to the basement where I do these videos. So anyway, a lot of prayer requests. Let's just keep remembering all those. Remember our little church, and remember, as we're getting ready to go into this holiday, that to be thankful. And I hope that many of you are getting to meet with your families and enjoy time together. This morning I was looking at my last year's calendar of November of 2024 to kind of see what was going on in my life at that time. This morning I want to say how thankful I am that my husband is able to sit up here in his chair and that he is able to walk around with his walker. Because last year we were in the process, and it was one day this week that we had gone to Lexington for one of those nuclear radiation treatments that he took 6 of those. And, the trips were so hard. It's over a 2-hour drive, driving in the city, finding a parking place, getting the wheelchair out, pushing him, getting on a shuttle, just the little things were so hard. But the Lord was so good to help us through every one of those trips that we made. And that was last year. That was in 2024. So today in 2025, I'm thankful to say that we're home. And right now, at this time, we don't have anything scheduled for today or this week. We're just enjoying each day, because as the verse says, tomorrow will have its own troubles. So let's just not worry about tomorrow. Then in 2023, at this time of the year, we had home health coming, which is such a great organization. I cannot impress that enough, because they can go and help people that can't get out of their houses, and keeps them from having to try to get to the doctor. And some people don't have transportation. But they were coming at that time in 2023. Now in 2022, in November, my husband was going through chemo, which was hard. It was hard on everybody. And if you've done that, or you know someone that has been through that, you know what I'm talking about. And then in 2021, 2020 is when we had COVID and we were all home from school. I wasn't working at the school. My girl was home. My husband was home. When we went out, we had to have a mask. Thankfully, we did pretty good. My husband never got COVID during all that time. And so many people were dying. I mean, people that I know were dying from COVID. But during that time, he was having a lot of tests and scans because his cancer had kind of, I don't know if you say comeback, but it had reared its ugly head again. And then we were getting ready to go through all this chemo and this radiation and all this that he had to go through. So in 2021 is when we had to start all the tests and the scans again. And in 2022, the chemo, and then home health, and then the nuclear radiation. And then now we've just had some rest. Of course, he has been in the hospital with a fractured hip, but he's doing pretty good with that. Isn't it? Can you look back what we've been through? And the Lord has been so good to comfort and improve our conditions, and just want to be thankful for every day Thankful for every day. Now, one of the main things that I wanted to tell you today is I had mentioned the other day about Kathy had sent me a comment and was telling me about this book, More Than a Bird, and I showed it to you the other day, Liz Huntley. And here's Liz. Here's a picture of Liz. Beautiful lady. Well, I told you I wanted to read this book, and then I've got that Barbara Martin's book. I'm going to read it next. But I sat down yesterday. Of course, this book is not very long. It's 125 pages, but it's not. The text is pretty big, so you know it doesn't take a long time to read. This is a wonderful book, such an inspiring book. More Than a Bird. Now, where did that come from? Okay, here's a little girl, which in my thinking, my opinion, that's Liz. And she's looking up at this bird in the sky. And here in the front of her, just one of the first few pages, she's got Matthew 6:26, which says, "Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they?" Now, after you read this book, if you read this book, she had a really, really, really hard home life. But she's one of the winners. She had people throughout her life that encouraged her and said, "You can do it. You can do it." They had no money. Her home life was very, very bad, very, very bad. But she went from a little girl that could have just slunk into her home and been like her family had been for generations. But she didn't, because she found God at an early age. She had people at every corner helping her grow into the person that she is today. And I even watched on YouTube last night, after I finished reading this book, I got on this on River Time, is the name of the channel, and she is on there, and I'm going to put that down in the description because it is very much worth your while to watch that. People, we have to help ourselves. We have to help ourselves. We cannot sit around feeling sorry for ourselves, because your life is going to be what you make of it. Now, I'm telling you, I've been through some things that I could be sitting here thinking, poor little me. But I was not going to do that. But I had the Lord to help me to be strong and to go through so many things that I've been through. Now, I didn't have a bad home life or anything. I don't mean that. But I encourage you today, if you want to read this book, it's a great book. I think I just ordered this off Amazon because, I mean, it's a, you know, I don't know if she's written more books or not, but it would be very worth your while to read it. And you might want to read it online, but you can watch that YouTube, and I'll put it down in the description so that if you want to watch that today, you can. And in this video that's on YouTube, she is talking a lot about this book, but of course the book goes in more detail, and it's just so rewarding. It's such a success just to look at the drive she had to get out of this mess that she was in, that she was living in. She really had to sacrifice herself to become what she is today. But it shows you that it can be done if you've got the grit to do it. And it's never too late. If you're sitting there today in your chair and you're 70 and you're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, you can get up out of your chair and make a little change. Just make a little change today and add on to that a little bit tomorrow and a little bit more the next day. You've got to make a little change. Who was it told me the other day? Nothing changes if nothing changes. So that's what we've got to do. We've got to make a change. We've got to make an effort. We've got to quit blaming other people for how we feel. We can't do that. All right, I've got a new channel that I want you to watch. I just found this yesterday, and I'm going to put it down in the description. It's called Joyful Gems with Audrey Joy, and she's from South Dakota. I don't think I know anybody from South Dakota, but Audrey Joy, I hope to know you. She has 32 subs and just got some very wise words to share with you. So I want you to go over there and tell her that I sent you. She doesn't even know me, but I did make a comment on her video. I've watched 2 or 3 of them, and I hope to see her channel grow because we all need a little help. And I've got to get off here because guess what? I've got to go to the grocery, and I am so excited. And my girl's going to be home this afternoon, and I'm really excited, but I'm not going to cook a thing. Not one thing. So, here is the little funny to think about today. It said, I had a dream that I was at work and had a really stressful day. So when I woke up, I called in sick. There's no way I was going to go to work twice in one day. I think I've felt like that before. Hey, I hope you have a great day. It has just been as foggy as a frog this morning. And it's clearing up, and I'm going to get ready and go to the grocery. And I might take a nap after a while. Got to find something for lunch. You know how that is. But I hope you have a great day. Today, make a change. Make a little change and see if you can't kind of get out of that rut you're in, because life is too short to not try to enjoy each day. So I hope to see you on Monday. So I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.